Okay, that looks about right. It's not quite centered, but we'll live with it. So, for basically everyone in, 1996, I think it was, who picked up their Nintendo 64, it kind of sucked because no games came with it. There was no pack-in. There were, on release day, exactly 2 games available for the system. There was Pilot Wing 64, if I recall, and there was this. So, a lot of parents on, like, Christmas morning were, like, rushing to the mall because they thought this was in the system and wasn't. Anyway. The wonderful thing with this is, like, we start off with just this big 3D model of Mario's severed head. And the ability to, what are the controls for this again? Yeah, just kind of, drag things around. Right, it's the shoulder button on this, okay. So we can, stretch his ears out. And so on. Or grab his hat and just, like, pull it right through his eyes in a distressing fashion. And let it all go. And, like, as a little tech demo thing, this is honestly kind of rad. And, of course, we have a language select because this is, in fact, the, like, UK version of all these games for some reason. They were not labeled as such. And, like, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Super Mario 64, I don't think, because, like, everybody's played this one. Like, but I want to point something about this, because would you, like, just make something sit in my lap? Hi. Hi, I am paying attention to you. Wow. Hi. Hi. Enjoy your belly rubs. So, one thing I do want to establish with this is, just a couple weeks ago, I was playing some of the classic Tomb Raider games, which came out around the same time as this, and have just the worst control. Oh, this is backwards. The worst controls for, like, running around and jumping around and, like, doing your various like tricks. And this was out, or came out, like, within a couple months or so, something like that. Just nice and smooth and, like, every time I hit that camera thing, it's gonna mess me up. So yeah, just, like, movement in this game is a joy, and they get this nice little, like, playground out front for you to start playing it to just get used to it. The camera is also, like, one of the better 3D cameras in a game. I was gonna say for the time, but, like, honestly speaking, if I was playing, like, a modern game, I would have to have my right thumb on the stick here to... Yeah? You getting down? Okay. Get down. Get down. Yeah, I'd have to have my right thumb on the stick to just, like, adjust this, but, like, left hand only. It's pretty good at, like, turning as you turn and, like, keeping points of interest in frame. A very good default camera. And, people kind of gave up on this and just, like, whatever, we're just going to, like, map that to the right stick that everybody has now, and you can just be, like, constantly adjusting it, basically just as you move, just, unconsciously after years of practice, moving the camera along with you by hand. But no, this is a good one. And I also want to point out that there is some like really nice animation here. Like if you start to turn, you'll notice there's like a little lean built in. If you know, walk and then build to a run, there's not just like, you know, jarring transition point. Like you have a nice natural flow from them together. And like almost immediately, everybody stopped having that level of care with their 3D animation. Yes, yes, yes. I can also play with the zoom and go kind of overhead camera here. And actually, while I'm doing that, another thing to point out here, because I am trying to, like, you know, get some historical information in here. Something that a lot of early 3D games did with characters' limbs is they were, like, compelled to make everything out of these, like, closed-off boxes. So if you look at, like, Mario's elbows here, you can kind of see, like, the upper part of the arm is a unit and the lower part of the arm is a unit, and then they're just kind of overlapping. I don't think there was a technical reason at the time they had to do it that way. It was just the best idea they had. And then later they was like, what if we just make the whole character model, like, one big hollow balloon, because we're moving all the vertices anyway to bend things, and then we, like, free up all those corners that way. And that's how everybody does it now. But at the time, no, they hadn't thought of that yet. That water is running. You can get a drink. You can get a drink. You can get a drink. The water is running. Hop up. Hop up in the sink. Get a drink of water. Turn it off and on for you again. Yeah, okay. Okay, drink that. So, he is being very active tonight. So anyway, yeah, I am going to just like play around with this for a bit. Honestly, just because I want to, you know, put this setup I have through its paces a little bit before moving on to something else. But also, you know, this is just a good game. Indeed. Hello. But yeah, this is actually like aged really gracefully as a game. Like yeah, it's very low poly, obviously, because you know that's the hardware we're on. But let's see where all the red coins are. I was also just earlier this week writing a big article on my blog about draw distance fog and how it's kind of an important thing in the games that use it to maintain, because there's that remake of Star Fox 64. I was playing this before that was a thing. That they were just previewing, and like some of the levels look awful because they just like didn't totally remove any fog from them, but like cut it way back, and like that's a game where it's used really an important part of the aesthetic. Now, I drew most games that like used fog, and like especially with the N64 here, that was like one of those things that's everybody's kind of like big memory of the system is like, oh yeah, they had that horrible fog because like you couldn't draw anything too far away. But like not everything did that. Like this game, there is the clock level which has a lot of fog in it. And there's technically some here because if you look like way back there, that is faded out a little bit. But like for the most part, this gets around the issue by just having fairly small, fairly flat levels, which was certainly one option. And what's in the distance is just a skybox. A little pop in there, but you know. Let's see. Can I actually up this enough to Or is this a nice child safety level where they put you in this nice smooth bowl to keep you from just like flinging yourself out of the level entirely? I think that might be the case. But yeah, this is a really fascinating game just on a technical level because, like, this wasn't the first 3D platformer, I don't believe, but it was one of the earliest examples, and they got a lot of things right that had not been tried yet, and which a lot of people did not copy. And here again, I'm not adjusting the camera at all. This is just how this game works. It is, in fact, kind of hard to go in a straight line because the camera is usually always moving in some fashion, but it works out pretty well. But yeah, this was, of course, my first game on the system, like most people. And it was a bit of a dry spell before anything else. And I was hoping to get the red coins for a nice little victory here, but I don't remember where they are. And I could go fight the king there, but everybody's seen that fight enough times, so yeah, this is fine. Not half of them. Let us move on from here. Again, you've seen it.